Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet our good friend, the liver. We're going to start with the gross anatomy in this lecture. When we first meet Liver, it is New Year's Eve, and he is angry because Liver has to work overtime while everyone else is celebrating. Why? Because the liver detoxifies toxins like alcohol. The other thing that the liver does is produce bile, and this is its role in the digestive system. Bile is a greenish fluid made from the heme groups in broken down red blood cells. Bile helps to break down fats. Bile gets made in the cells of the liver, transported and stored in the gallbladder, and then sent to the intestines when it's needed. The other functions of the liver, of course, it detoxifies drugs, metabolites, and poisons. It stores excess nutrients, especially fats, vitamins, and iron. Eating liver is a really, really good source of vitamins and iron. The liver is going to store those and then release them as they're needed back into the body. It synthesizes a bunch of proteins that are going to be really important in the blood plasma and helps recycle old red blood cells, which you remember from when we studied blood. Now, there are 4 lobes of the liver. 2 main lobes are the right lobe and the left lobe. They are separated by the falciform ligament, which extends out from the liver and attaches to the anterior abdominal wall. Notice the right liver is much bigger than the right lobe bigger than the left lobe, and that's because the stomach is over here taking up the space on the left side. On the bottom edge of the falciform ligament, that is the round ligament of the liver, which is the remnant of the umbilical vein. When we look at the bottom of the liver, we see this big right lobe separated into 2 other not fully separated lobes. The one in the front, this is the front, this is the back. You can always remember gallbladder pokes its head out of the front. The one at the front is called the quadrate lobe because it's kind of square or rectangular. So quadrate meaning like a quadrangle. And the one in the back is called the caudate lobe. Caudate comes from the word for caudal, meaning tail. So if you remember that the inferior vena cava, that's this giant blue tube here, the inferior vena cava is on the back side of the body. It runs up kind of along the vertebral column. So the caudate lobe is closest to your tail, which is at the base of the inferior vena cava. So that's how you're going to keep those straight. Quadrate in the front, caudate in the back. On the bottom, we also see the hepatic portal vein bringing deoxygenated blood from the digestive system into the liver to be filtered, the hepatic artery proper, bringing blood, oxygenated blood from the aorta to oxygenate the hepatocytes, the cells of the liver, and then a hepatic duct that's going to bring bile to the gallbladder. And we'll come back to this when we talk about the gallbladder. So here is our digestive model with the liver showing. You can see the right lobe much larger than the left lobe, separated by the falciform ligament, gallbladder here on the front, and then if we zoom in, you can see the vena cava here. The purple here is the hepatic portal vein. In a lot of diagrams, these two are both blue. So how do you distinguish? The vena cava doesn't branch, and it's much larger. The hepatic portal vein here bringing blood from the digestive system, and then the hepatic artery there. And then on our next slide, this is one of our liver models showing the bottom of the liver. Ignore that, that's the pole this model is standing on. So here's the left lobe, the right lobe is all of this. Here's the quadrate lobe. You can see here it looks like more of a rectangle than a square that it looked like in the diagram. Here's the gallbladder. There's the caudate lobe here. Kind of hard to see its edges because of all this branching of the veins bringing blood to the inferior vena cava through the hepatic veins, the right hepatic vein and the left hepatic vein. Here, next to the hepatic duct going to the gallbladder, We have we have the hepatic portal vein, and then the left and right hepatic arteries, which branched off of the hepatic artery proper. Okay, so that's the gross anatomy of the liver. Stay tuned for the histology.